All right, here you go. The most beloved and most hated comedians of all time. I just said like the love has to be Robert Williams, maybe Bobby Lee, maybe. Bray, that's a big maybe. The most hated has to be Dave Chappelle. Even though I'm a big fan of Dave Chappelle. Bill Burr, it's gotta be one of the most hated. Even though he's one of the best comedians of all time. Oh, Bobby Lee? Okay, yeah, I'll take that back then. My bad. I didn't know about that.
Admired comedians, there's another 5 who are completely. For every 5 admired comedians, there's another 5 who are completely despised. And it's no secret that joke thief Dane Cook fits snugly into category 2. In 2005, Dane
People
Cook
hate
was
Dane
listed
Cook?
as the world's most famous comic, although despite being known by an audience of millions, he was notably hated by every other comedian. A comedy radio host stated, "Not one comedian comes on my show and says I'm so happy for him, which is weird. They can't stand this poor guy, the reason for which being jealousy, at least according to Dane."
A lot of jealousy, a lot of animosity that I, at a young age, was famous, hanging around with beautiful women, rich.
Although the real reason might have been because Dane had stolen their jokes, given he was called out for
He was a joke stealer.
You can name your kid anything you want. I like that part. I like to give my kid an interesting name, you know? Like a name with no vowels, maybe, you know? Just like 40 F's, that's his name.
I already have names picked out. I don't even know. First kid, boy, girl, I don't care. The first one that comes out, I'm naming it. I think it's beautiful. It's feminine but strong at the same time. Time for bed. I said time for bed.
Fans then noticed Dane had also copied a bit by Dimitri Martin at around the same time.
I went into a shoe store and I said, hey, can I get those in a 10? The guy said, sure, and he went in the back. Then a couple minutes later he came out and he goes, I don't have a 10, I have a 9. Great. Because while you were in the back, my toes were severed off.
Oh my god.
She walks out. She comes up to me, you guys, so enthusiastic, such like optimism. She's holding a boot. She comes right up to me and she goes, we have it in a 9. Great, you guys also have a bone saw anywhere nearby?
Wow.
Patrick CC even more examples in this video before touching on another reason Dane Cook is hated. His joke about the Batman movie theater shooting.
So I heard that the guy came into the theater about 25 minutes into the movie. I don't know if you've seen the movie. The movie's pretty much a piece of crap. Pretty sure that somebody in that theater about 25 minutes in realizing it was a piece of crap probably was like, oh, shoot me.
The controversial joke resulted in article after
What?
article, as well as Twitter posts reading,
That was a very
"Anyone who
tasteless
knows
joke.
me
It's
knows
as
I
soon
think
as
Dane
that
Cook is
happened.
the single worst comedian ever. He's never been funny. Now he's just an awful human being." But while Dane Cook isn't liked for his disrespectful and sometimes stolen jokes, Theo
I never been fan of Dane Cook. Hey, have you guys ever watched his movies? I'm trying to think what movies have you done? Let's see, Dane Cook movies. American. I don't have no idea. I never seen Planes. Fire. No, never seen those. My Best Friend's Girl. Never seen that. I've seen Waiting, but that was his movie. Ryan Reynolds movie. That wasn't really his movie. Stuck on You, Mystery Man. Have you seen those? That's about it, really. Yeah, I never really seen any of his movies. Or like he's like the main character in the movie, I guess you could say. Yeah, I don't know.
Von is hailed for his unusual originality. His sense of humor has been described as so creative, unique, hilarious, and unorthodox that I can't compare him to any other comedian, which summarizes Theo Von perfectly.
There's a few guys, Theo's one of them, that have like a style of comedy that you will never be able to explain to someone. They gotta go see him.
When you hear him say, "We had this one guy," you know you're about to hear a wild story full of bizarre situations and metaphors described in the strangest yet most perfect way possible.
This one gentleman had half a limb, and he
which limb?
He was missing part of his leg, I think, or he said he was, so he could have been faking it.
CGI or something?
I don't know what his name was. CJ. It was a white dude.
Okay, Jack.
He's the absolute king of the
Oh my
metaphor.
God.
Whenever he says something is kind of like etc., it's always the funniest, most outlandish comparison I've ever heard.
You look like a guy if somebody had a cheat code in Double Dragon, bro. And they got to use an ultimate character, man.
Yeah, Dan Tony.
Amen, dude.
Unlocked it.
There are multiple compilations dedicated to Theo Von's absolutely wild sayings, although at the same time he's able to show
Yeah, I haven't really seen a lot of his stuff, but yeah. I mean, I've been on the internet for a little bit. I have not seen any hate towards him at all. So yeah, he does a podcast, right? I know that. I know that much. I know he was a comedian, but I know that he has a podcast.
show his softer, more vulnerable side in moments.
I'm not gonna pretend I'm a fan of all these
Theo's
people.
podcast this past weekend has risen to become the 7th most popular podcast on Spotify, while
Told
Brendan
you.
Schaub's bad reputation has caused his.
Oh, I know about this guy because we watched a video about him.
Brennan had previously been a UFC fighter. However, after a string of losses, he was convinced by Joe Rogan and Brian Callen to retire and instead pursue comedy.
You have a future in other things and you're really good at. Like, you're really funny.
You say funny shit, man.
Yeah, you do. You have a ridiculous talent for that.
Although with comments on Brennan's stand-up like, this is the best example of normal people thinking they're funny because they make their friends laugh, his sets aren't exactly the greatest. His first stand-up special titled You'd Be Surprised received an IMDb rating of 1.4 out of 10 stars and was labeled in front of millions as the
Damn.
worst comedy special I've ever seen.
Damn.
It was so bad
Damn.
that even Joe Rogan made a few little jokes about it.
The first one, I would have probably tried to talk you out of it, but I already talked you out of fighting.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't talk him out of this too.
However, for Brendan, the worst was yet to come.
Oh my
2 years after
God.
his first special, Brendan Schaub
That's
released
fun.
another one titled Gringo Papi, which received an even lower IMDb score of.
You trying to get me banned, SunnyV2? Twitch does not allow me to say that word. Oh man. Look. Somecano. Alright, we say that word. But we're not allowed to say it, I guess, on Twitch or something like that. I don't know. Like, I can't even say negro, which means black in Spanish. God. But anyway, this guy's... Yeah, no, I'm good.
1.1 out of 10 stars, meaning he was unable to sell it to a major buyer like Netflix. Instead, he uploaded the special to his YouTube channel, where it received an 85% dislike ratio and comments such as, "Damn, this guy sure has some hidden talent. Hope he finds it one day. Every time I feel down, I watch Gringo Papi. Then I realize whatever has me down or whatever adversity I am facing isn't as bad as this comedy special. You know it's a Brennan Schaub stand-up
means...
comments are funnier than the actual video, with the stand-up again being labeled as the worst comedy special of all time.
Well, when you put an A at the end, it just means female, and O it means usually guy, right, for the most part, right? Like Latino, Latina, so...
It seems Brendan's main problem is that he isn't very skilled, and the audience has therefore been
Okay, moving on, Shadow.
towards Shane Gillis. He got his big break
Shane
in
Gillis?
2019 after being cast on Saturday Night Live, which he was then fired from immediately after the media dug up controversial comments made on his podcast.
He is in descent, also this guy?
You got canceled on the way. They literally were like, how about this guy? And everyone was like, no.
Shane responded by writing, "I'm a comedian who pushes boundaries. Sometimes I miss. If you go through my 10 years of comedy, most of it bad, you're going to find a lot of bad misses. But while this made him unsuitable for SNL, this was ironically exactly what the wider comedy audience wanted. No one."
Oh my god. I still don't understand, man. Like, couldn't you just say, oh, it was a bad joke? Alright, cool. Don't ever make that joke again or something like that. Or at least like, oh, hey, he made a bad joke. Which almost every comedian has made a bad joke that's not hit the right mark for make people laugh. Right? It's like, holy hell, man. There's no comedian out there, in my personal opinion, that made every single joke funny. Like, every single joke that they ever made is funny. There's no comedian out there that done that, in my personal opinion. Or that I know of, I guess you could say. And so they fired him for making a very bad joke. Like, come on, man. That's what comedians do. They push boundaries, dude. Holy
No
hell.
wonder SNL fired him. He's actually funny. This, in combination with the mountains of press from the incident, took Shane's popularity to a whole new level.
The months after SNL, our listenership probably quadrupled because then people heard about it and watched it.
So it's helped the podcast.
Like, this is actually funny.
So it's helped the podcast.
Tremendous.
Only made crazier when he'd post his live set in Austin, which gained over 20 million views by touching on funny political topics, although in a good way where it felt like he didn't have an agenda.
And I don't want to be on the other side of it where it's like, I'm a free speech guy. It's like, dude, I don't want to be involved in any of this. I just want to do comedy.
Shane's great attitude and likable personality has made him the most
That's how
subscribed
he's
person on
obvious to do.
Patreon with around 75,000 paid members. In comparison,
Damn,
to
75,000.
Star was so unique. The whole
I'm gonna admit something very embarrassing, guys. Carrot Top was my favorite character to play as in the death match game, Celebrity Death Match. Hold up. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Oh, I'm not on YouTube anymore. I forgot there had no music in this game.
This is more mayhem than this Greek body.
I forgot. Wait, did I have no music in this game? Damn, okay.
industry turned against him.
Oh, box.
He gained popularity as a prop comic in the 90s, but while his shows were extremely smart and absolutely hilarious,
O.J. Simpson's football. Okay, go deep, honey. Go deep.
his bizarre look and style made him a punching bag for anybody and everybody.
You're a funny guy, man, and you at least used to take a lot of shit, and I never understood it.
I don't either. I would get shit for everything.
It's like Nickelback.
This became most obvious.
Bro,
when
they had like
Carrot Top
plastic
simply
surgery?
flew over his city in a fighter jet.
And the next day on the front page of the paper, Carrot Top disrupts city with flyover. And everyone's up in arms because the building shook and everybody was like, oh, what, there's a war happening? and I think they were really, honestly, just pissed because it was me.
And in a Reddit thread talking about him, the only reasons people had to hate Carrot Top was he's annoying, not funny, and comes across as a gigantic douchebag, which pretty much confirms the theory. Carrot Top's name has become synonymous with bad comedian we should make fun of. In another article, Carrot Top was described as the most successful comedian no one will admit to liking, with one of these haters being another comedy legend.
Damn.
Just going coals on me. I mean, just right.
Damn, it's so crazy how old he looks like now, dude. I remember this guy.
I mean, just bad.
Who then apologized to Carrot Top after meeting him in person.
And then when I finally meet him, he was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, he came and hugged me. And
Carrot Top was hated for so long that he's now considered a legend.
they're kind of like saying, you know what, geez, he won't go away. We've been ripping on him, but he's for some reason, he's still around, and you know what, he can stay now.
You had somebody
I've earned my wings.
With Bobby Lee having earned his wings in a similar kind of way.
So, is he like... I mean, he's not the most hated now, so I don't know why we put him in the most hated. He was, right? But now he's like, you know, when like, if you stay there for the longest time, kind of like, all right, you earn your, how you said, wings, whatever. So, is he still the most hated now? I don't think so. I mean, maybe because he's not doing a lot of like comedy stuff for obvious reasons, right? Because he's kind of like retired-ish. So, I don't know. It's not that. It means that he's not really that much hated no more, right? Unless I'm wrong. Wait. He put Bobby Lee in the blue. Shadow, you may, or anybody in chat, you guys may be like, what?
One of the things that makes Bobby Lee so likable is his ability to laugh at himself for the sake of audience entertainment.
Bro, you're the worst looking of all of us.
What do you think he is out of 10, for real?
You're a 2, buddy.
2, buddy.
You're like a 2.5 at most, probably closer to a 1.5.
Give me a bigger number.
Okay. You want an honest
No,
number?
honest.
Okay.
Give me a number.
Honest number? Please. I was being generous as a 1.5.
I'm a 1.5.
Something close to 1.7.
Showing that he's comfortable in his own skin. This helps him deliver some of the most savage roasts on the internet.
My dad abandoned me, but then I love my mom.
In your face. He doesn't have a dad.
Although just like his fans also have a lot of respect for how
Come
open
on,
he is
man.
with his addiction issues and sobriety.
Right before I was gonna get on the plane, I looked at my girlfriend and said, I'm gonna relapse.
When it comes to Bobby Lee's stand-up, a Reddit user wrote, I've seen him do the same set at the Comedy Store like 3 or 4 times, and I nearly cried laughing each time, while another person called it the hardest I've laughed at a comedy show of a decent slate of shows. It seems Bobby Lee finds love from the audience regardless of what he's doing, while the audience has recently been finding many reasons
So
to
Bobby
hate
does
Tom
have haters.
Segura. At the start of his career, Tom Segura was one of the more humble comedians.
I mean, I will say, probably he does make fun of himself, and he lets other people make fun of him, and nobody really gets butthurt. I'll give him that. Like, he does not get butthurt, or it doesn't show that he does get butthurt of like people making fun of him. So I'll give him that. I'll give him that. Like, give him those props. You know, that's hard sometimes. It's hard.
However, after losing over 50 pounds and building a net worth of 12 million, his ego became incredibly obvious. He'd begin to joke about the general population by calling them poors.
So I've received a remarkable number of messages, countless poor people, about the use of a washcloth in the shower. And, you know, it's kind of well known, it's what poors do.
However, it quickly became obvious that he wasn't really joking.
Every time we talk about like a watch or a car, I'll get a bunch of messages from losers that try to tell me that I'm making them feel bad about their situation. I'm struggling with rent this month. Figure it the f*** out.
In October 2023,
Damn.
Tom tweeted about being inconvenienced by American Airlines, and after being called entitled by his fans, Tom responded by stating all the poors and losers have the same response. Oh, you were inconvenienced, well you should accept it. That's what me and my dumb poor family have done for generations. This is why you're poor. In his next tweet, he'd
Damn.
respond to a fan by simply writing poor.
Oh, come on. Does it do like is he trying to be like a savage, like, comedian, joker guy, whatever? You know, like, he's trying to make jokes of just being savage to people. It's like, fucking hey, man, that's come on, dude. Is calling a service worker a C word for doing her job like you think she had options? She's regular charge checking bags. It's just calling us to humanity that bothers people in the poor. Well, all right.
While a third tweet read, the lowest level poors get upset, as they've been trained to do, when you point out they're happy to do what I'm told servant mentality. They don't value time because their time is worthless. You are specks of shit on a washcloth, and washcloths belong in the trash. The rant instantly turned Tom into laughing stock for the internet.
Probably not that much money left over for the guys in the booth either.
Oh,
It's all
man.
Tom and Christina just running around, getting on private jets, making fun of poor people.
While others dug deep to find his wealth was likely inherited.
It turns out Tom was a trust fund kid. His father was the vice president and chief financial advisor of.
Look, in some ways, if you make it big on your own, make millions, and you call people poor, it is what it is. Like, still messed up, but hey, man, you worked your ass off and you made it happen. But you being a trust fund baby, okay, dude, now shut the f up, dude. Nah, you did not work your ass off to make that. Nah, dude, no, it doesn't work like that, dude. No. You don't have the right. You don't have the right to do that. Hell no. That's just my opinion. Hell no. If you're a trust fund baby, good on you. I'm not hating on that because you know you got the money. But if you're talking shit on people for not having that much money compared to you, fuck off, dude. You're a trust fund baby. You didn't work your ass off for it. You just got it. Like, hell no.
of Merrill Lynch for 25 years until he took over as the vice president and CFA for the Bank of America. His obituary mentions that he was a member of the Quail Valley Golf Club in Vero Beach, where a membership will run you a very modest $85,000 a year, not counting all of the other fees.
This led Tom to remove the entire chain of airport tweets and avoid every question that might imply he's rich.
What kind of car you have?
What kind?
You have cars?
Yeah, I
How many
like
cars you got?
Wow,
Right?
he's
Yeah,
avoiding it. He's avoiding
Tom
it.
Segura has no excuse for being a douchebag, given Gabriel Iglesias is substantially richer and is one of the most humble comedians. When you type Gabriel Iglesias controversy into Google, it seems the worst thing he's ever done is pay a fine to a venue for spending too much time recording a Netflix special. Back in 2014, one
Oh
of
my
his
God,
specials
really?
was leaked
That's
and uploaded
it?
to YouTube for free, although instead of issuing a copyright takedown, he'd share the links to his Facebook, adding, "I can't believe someone posted a direct link to watch my fluffy specials online for free. The nerve. I hope no one shares or watches these before they get taken down," prompting a top comment reading, "This is why you're awesome, Fluffy. You don't whine about getting pirated, you promote it." Gabriel's nickname Fluffy is a joke about his own weight, which like Bobby Lee shows he's comfortable in his own skin.
Yeah,
Although
that's been
at the
fun of
same
that.
time, Gabriel explained to Joe Rogan that he'd recently lost 70 pounds as a
Oh,
result
good for
of
him.
following better habits. And it was bad habits
I've never heard a
Carlos
bad
Mencia
shit about
became
Fluffy.
hated. The collapse of his reputation began after
Oh, this
Joe
guy.
Rogan wrote a blog post titled "Carlos Mencia is a weak-minded joke thief," which read, "The latest and most disgusting joke thief of all."
Carlos, I think my uncle liked him a lot back in the day. That's all I know about him. And I believe we watched like a video of him at one point. About doing a podcast and him talking about George Lopez not liking this new comedian that's like up and coming, like new comedian. I forgot the new comedian's name. What was his name? Let's see. What was the new comedian's name? Ralph Barbosa. I think that's his name. Yeah, so it's like he's just not liking maybe some people don't know who Ralph Barbosa is, but the comedy world is about to learn. So like yeah, I remember and then Garcia was talking about it. It's like, oh, why you don't like Barbosa, something like that. Oh, it's all weird. It's super weird. George Lopez is so hated. Yeah, man, I used to love George Lopez, dude. I used to save his like comedy specials on my iPod. Yeah, that's right, guys. iPod or iPod Touch. Because he stole his jokes. Yeah. I remember. Yeah, Joe Rogan. Yeah, and then yeah, dude, his wife gave him a freaking kidney, and he divorced her after that. Did he really? I didn't know about that.
Or
Oh yeah, he
there's a
did.
guy
Yeah,
named
never mind.
Carlos
Yeah.
Mencia. The really crazy thing is that's not even his real name. He sells himself as being Mexican, but the reality is his real name is Ned Holness, and he's actually half German and half Honduran. The Mexican hook is something he did to integrate himself with the local Mexican population of LA where he started.
Wait,
From
what?
here, Joe began calling him Carlos Mencia before confronting him on stage in an actual comedy club, which was recorded and uploaded to YouTube.
It's easy to say you steal shit, but I don't, because I'm not a little bitch. I think that every time you open your mouth, you talk about me, I think that you're secretly in love with me.
Wait. Hold up. He's not Mexican. He's not even Latin. Me closing these windows. I gotta stop doing that. Wait. Hold up. Okay, hold on. Wait. I know rumors, whatever, video. Let's see. Ned Arnell is Honduran American comedian. Wait. So he's not even Latin? I'm reading right now. I'm trying to find it. Let's see. Oh, put Copic. Is Latin? Where's Honduras? I have no idea, man. What? Just because the name is but it's Honduran. Yeah, it's right there. I mean, it's between Mexico and like, so he's sort of there. Just kidding, just kidding. No, wait. Why would people say that he's not Latin then? He's not Mexican, right? Yeah, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Honduras. Yeah, Honduras, El Salvador. Yeah, Central America and Caribbean seas. I mean, yeah. Where is Honduras for 500? Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's near Guatemala, so it's like, yeah. I mean, why would people say he's not Latin? I mean, I thought he was Mexican, right? Of like what he portrayed as, but other than that, I didn't. Huh.
Despite denying the allegations, Carlos was then exposed for stealing from Bill Cosby and Ari Shaffir, after
I don't feel bad about him stealing about Bill Cosby at this point. I'm just saying.
which Carlos made the crazy decision to own the fact that he stole all his jokes.
His attitude was this, like, yeah, I steal. If I'm in the back of the room, you better watch your material because I'll take it, remix it, and make it a hit.
From here, almost every comedian destroyed Carlos Mencia.
A lot of your material, I'm not saying all of it, but a lot of your material was too similar to Paul Mooney or Bill Hicks.
And he went from performing in stadiums to small clubs. There's a heavy price to pay for cutting
Damn.
corners in comedy, whereas Chris Rock discovered there's much to gain in the power of a single slap. Chris Rock has been admired and respected since the mid-1980s, although it seems being slapped by Will Smith made him even more loved. Ironically,
true.
the Will Smith slap made Chris a beloved winner. Will Smith accomplished the impossible with one targeted slap. Now everybody loves Chris. This was reinforced
And
when
everybody
Dave Chappelle
hates
was
Will
attacked on
Smith.
stage, after which Chris Rock jumped on the mic to ask,
Is that Will Smith?
Chris Rock just proved that if someone does you wrong in life, just wait, and the perfect moment will present itself. Proud of Chris Rock. He didn't let the Will Smith incident take him to a place of bitterness and anger, but stays humble and even makes a joke out of such a difficult spot to be in. There could not have a more perfect moment to drop that line, and the fact that Chris Rock wasn't really talking about the altercation before leading up to this just adds to the perfection of his delivery.
Honestly, I believe Chris Rock only talked about it like fully was when he made his comedy special a year later on Netflix. That's it. Like he made jokes here and there, but off media, I guess you could say. Like the one you saw with Dave Chappelle. But other than that, he did not really talk about it until he made that Netflix special a year later. He finally talked about it. Just to make content out of it, to make something out of nothing. I mean, make something not out of nothing, but like, just to like kind of use it for his material and, instead of wasting it on weird stuff or I don't think did he ever make interviews about the slap? Johnny, stop closing the window. Your window, friend. You got Chris Rock interview slap. Nope, it was just. Yeah, it's just he just did it on a Netflix special and that's it. He didn't do any interviews. Will Smith speaks out. No, Will Smith. Chris. Yeah, it was all in the interview and that's it. Like on the Netflix special, that's it. That's all. The only time he talked about the slap, like literally on big media.
And when Chris Rock did address the controversy in his special, he reinforced a winner's mindset.
But I'm not a victim, baby. You will never see me on Oprah or Gail. I couldn't believe it. And I love Men in Black. No, I took that hit like Pacquiao.
Kayla, I'm based out of
Stop, Kayla, please. But yeah. I mean, good for him. I mean, honestly, I think he's one of the most humble comedians of all time. I mean, like I said, he did not make any interviews. He could have given so many interviews. He could have done a whole press tour if he wanted to. He didn't. He could have, but he didn't do it. But guess who did a press tour? Will Smith and what's Will Smith's wife name again? Uh, Jada. They did all like a whole press tour in a way, like interviews and little videos or tweets, whatever kind of thing. And that's pretty much it. And Chris Rock, nope, just his Netflix special, and that's it. So, I can see that one. I can see why people don't dislike Chris Rock. I'm just saying, it's very hard to hate the guy. Let's be honest. But hate is a strong word, right? Who do we actually really hate in real life? Do you guys actually hate someone other than me? Like, actually, really, really hate someone? I can't think of anything right now. I'm talking about current time too, by the way.